Good morning, everyone. Welcome, everybody. We see that there are a few people already joining, so we're going to allow a couple more minutes just for a few more participants to join in. Thank you. Okay, all right. I think we have quite a few people in the call, so let's get started. Once again, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the next episode in the Unlocking Universal ZTNA series. This time, the episode is called Migration from Cisco Umbrella to Secure Access. But before we dive into, today's session, let me introduce to you our presenters for today. So we have Azucena del Mar Aragon, Orlangel de la Rosa, Jairo Moreno Ciro, and myself, Jan Orozco Navarro. We are all customer success specialists for security, and we are excited to share our knowledge and experience with you today. All right. Now, in today's episode, we will be focusing on the migration tool that helps you transition smoothly from Cisco Umbrella to Cisco Secure Access. But in case you missed them, we already had a few more episodes in this series. So let me tell you a little bit about them. Okay. For example, in the first episode of Unlocking Universal ZTNA, we laid the foundation. We explored the zero trust principles. We demonstrated how Cisco ICE secures the workplace, how Cisco Duo is used to protect your workforce through identity, and a few other cool things with the Cisco Secure Firewall client-less ZTNA feature. For episode 2, we introduced Cisco Secure Access, Cisco's star product when it comes to SSE. So we dived into all of the features that it has. It laid like all the context for what we're going to be doing today. But most importantly, we were able to design that session as a greenfield deployment so that you can follow along and have an idea of how to get started if you're just getting started, of course, with the solution. Now, in today's session, we are addressing Those of you who are ready to take the next step, we'll be focusing specifically on customers looking to migrate from Cisco Umbrella to Cisco Secure Access. And more importantly, how to execute that migration effectively and efficiently. So let's see. We want this session to be engaging. So I invite you to please ask questions throughout the session. You will find the Q&A panel if you go to the bottom right corner of the WebEx and click on the three dots and click on the Q&A. Our panelists will be monitoring and they will be answering all of your questions. Okay. This is today's agenda, and as you can see, it's packed with everything you need to know about this migration. You know, what it is, why we need it, all of the licensing, how it looks like once you migrate, the workflow, step by step, what you have to do, how to get ready for it with the prerequisites. We have been doing this for quite some time, so we have identified some of those challenges. Today, we want to share them with you so that you can be prepared, right, for those. Some of the limitations, we're going to see a lot of demos. We tried these, that these sessions are intense or rich in demos. And lastly, we will change a little bit of the gears and we will share some of the integrations that we can find with Cisco Secure Access. And if there are still any remaining questions, we will jump into the Q&A. All right. Now, without any further ado, let me pass the ball to Orlando.
Thank you, Jan. Thank you very much. I just share my screen. So my name is Orlando de la Rosa, and I am a customer success specialist for Secure Access. And today I'm going to talk to you about the migration overview. You may be an umbrella customer and you already decide to move to Secure Access, and that's why you are here. But you also may be an umbrella customer, but you don't know why migrate to Secure Access. So I will try to answer that question for you uh, today. So Cisco Umbrella has evolved to Cisco Secure Access. Why? The threat landscape expand, and now attackers are more sophisticated. So because the attacker become more sophisticated, your security must also evolve. And that's why we are excited to talk about secure access because it's modern security for a hybrid world. Secure access built on umbrella strength while delivering new advanced capability designed for today evolving risk. So you see the statistic on this slide, 94% of organizations are concerned about evolving cyber risk, and only 4% feel they are ready to prevent or respond to a cyber attack. And on the right side of the presentation, you can see the key challenge that our customers are facing today. Inconsistent user experience, private application often not supported for security solution, complex policy management, because they use different kind of product for security. So they require multiple license, different hardware. Sometimes those products are not integrated, so we don't have like enough visibility, so that reduces the security efficiency. And also because we don't have that visibility, the troubleshooting is inefficient with multiple dashboard, multiple tools, and that is a problem for the customer. And that is the advantage of secure access. So to answer the question, why to migrate to secure access? To stay ahead of threat. Cyber threats are constantly evolving, so secure access offers advanced defense mechanisms to keep you one step ahead of attacker, right? Simplify experience, and that's one of the things that I really love about secure access is how easy it is to use the product to configure everything. we have a very nice dashboard, right? So secure access bring together powerful protection and a simplified management, right? To streamline your security operation and making easier to protect user and data wherever they are. Now it's not that complicated to protect your cloud infrastructure, your on-prem infrastructure, your roaming user, your remote user. Now we can do that easily with secure access. And because we are talking about the migration from Umbrella to secure access, another reason why to migrate because it's fast and simple. You may think, oh, another migration, a lot of maintenance window, a lot of work to do. Actually, we make it easier for you with our automated migration tool. You can complete the upgrade uh, in hours if you want to, minimizing disruption to your business, right? And it's a smooth transition. Okay. When we use the migration tool, you will have a dual view. You will have access to the umbrella dashboard and the secure access dashboard during the migration. So ensuring continuous protection every step of the way, right? So that is the reason to migrate to secure access. But let me talk to you about some features that make you, to do the decision faster, right? Like for example, protect more. Let's talk about now about cloud DLP. So why migrate to secure access? Because even if you are an umbrella DNS customer or you are an umbrella seed customer and you want to migrate to secure access, you are going to get what you have right now, the umbrella that you trust, right? The DNS different. You will get that plus other feature like cloud DLP, right? You may have a situation, mm, a user or a colleague have put some sensitive data into a cloud share, and you are worried about how that could potentially be compromised and the kind of cleanup you will have to do and the kind of cost associated with that. We can help you with DLP, right? We can protect or make sure that not sensitive information is shared to the most common cloud application like right Google Drive, Box, Microsoft 365, Dropbox, and so on. But not only about DLP. Let's talk about malware protection, right? Uh, we can scan your SaaS storage cloud application, right? Again, Box, Google Drive, Dropbox, and the most important part is that we are not only scanning the new file that you upload to those cloud storage applications. We can also do a retroactive scan. Let's say that when you do the configuration, when you configure cloud malware protection in Secure Access, the first step is to do a scan of all the file that you have already there looking for malware. So for me, this is a very good reason to move to secure access. But let's talk a little bit more. Now, we need visibility. You know, the first thing we need in security is visibility because we cannot control what we cannot see. So that's why we need to understand the shadow IT, but now in this specific case, shadow AI. It's a reality that AI is there. So our user are using AI tool, to maybe to create some email, to do part of their job, uh, and to, for example, maybe you have some internal AI tool, and they are using the tool, and they may share, right, sensitive information with the AI tool. And the worst part is that some AI tool may are not approved by the IT department, right? That's what we call a shadow AI. So the IT team need that visibility. Okay, what are the AI tool that the user are using? Is that a legitimate tool? Is a safe tool to use? Or probably you have your own internal AI and you want to allow access only to that internal AI tool, right? But first of all, you need that visibility, and we can get that with AI app discovery, with AI access. That is part also of the secure access, right? Now, we talk about AI and visibility, but how can I protect, right? Not only the interaction with the user and AI, but also my internal AI tool. And we can also do that with AI gathering, right? We can protect the interaction with the user and AI, avoiding, for example, sensitive information to be shared with the AI tool, and also using the AI tool for malicious purpose. Like, for example, asking questions like how to make a bomb, right? Extreme example, but yeah, we can protect that. We can avoid that prompt to go to the AI, and not only the prompt. We can also monitor the response from the AI tool to avoid that to go to the user. Okay. So, and also the sensitive information. It's easy to tell to the AI to, hey, write me this email with this information, or I have this PDF and I want a summary of that. That may have some sensitive information that you don't want to go to any AI tool. So we can protect that information don't go to the AI, right? So this is another good reason to move to secure access. But what about end-to-end visibility? If you are a network engineer or a security engineer, you know how important is troubleshooting, right? And for troubleshooting, again, we need visibility. The first question that we ask when there is a problem is, where is the problem, right? So our user is reporting, bad performance, or hey, everything is slow, uh, I cannot work properly, and you need tool to troubleshoot that, and we can offer that. We It's part of the secure access, the experience inside with Thousand Eyes. So you as a IT engineer, you can get that information, that visibility, right? How is the connectivity between the endpoint and the local network, the Wi-Fi, the Ethernet connection? How is the connectivity to the internet? How is the connectivity to some collaboration application or to some SaaS application on the internet? How is the connectivity to secure access? And we can get that visibility with experience inside with Thousand Eyes. And we are going to talk more about that later in the presentation in the integration part. But I just want you to mention all the new feature that we have available for you in secure access. So another point is how easy is to manage the policy in secure access. Let's compare with Umbrella, for example, right? In Umbrella, when we talk about policy, right, we can talk about DNS policy, could be a web policy or a firewall policy. So we have to create uh, the different policy depend on the enforcement that we want to do, right? But that is not the case anymore with secure access. We have one dashboard, one kind of policy. If you have ever or had experience with the ASA or the FTD, you will find that this is very similar, right? How we used to do it in a firewall. We can create a section rule with different action. As a source, we can select, user, group, devices, network. I mean, it's very granular how we can create the policy in secure access in an easy way. One dashboard, only one place where we have all our policy configured, and we can be very granular with that, right? So that's another advantage of secure access, because when you have multiple security device, multiple dashboard, the management can be complicated. With secure access, you have everything in one place, and that is good uh, for the IT department, because doing that before was so complicated, but now it's easy thanks to secure access, right? Now, I hope I answered your question. Why migrate to secure access? Let's talk about now the migration, right? When you enable the migration tool, aka Upgrade Manager, you need to enable that before, and later, as Susana, we explain how to do that. But let's say that you enable already the upgrade manager, right? What are the steps to complete the migration? It's very easy and straightforward. Four step, okay, four step. The first one, complete all prerequisite in your umbrella dashboard. So we have this prerequisite. The first one, we need to enable Cisco Security Cloud Sign-On for all user. Okay, that means that the umbrella user, the admin user, now to log into the umbrella dashboard, they need to use the Cisco Security Cloud Sign-On, right? Then they need to update the virtual appliance. So you have virtual appliance in the environment and AD connector, you need to update that to the latest version. And also, so you have mobile devices or Chromebooks, you need to update that for the latest version. So, si you are an umbrella DNS customer, that's it for the prerequisite, right? Now, si you are a SIG umbrella customer and you have Summer integrated with umbrella, you need to update the Summer configuration on the IDP to to allow also connection to secure access, right? So these are the first step of the migration process. And then when we move to the step two, the step two is very important. This is the step where the policy and component on the policy are copied to secure access. Okay. Now, why this is an important step? Because let's say, for example, that your umbrella subscription is expiring in at the end of March, right? But you got the secure access, right? You got the secure access, you want to do the migration because we allow you to have the umbrella dashboard and secure access at the same time. It is important that the umbrella license is still active, right? So how that happen? We need to pass the step two of the migration tool. When we do that, then the umbrella license is renewed, allowing you to keep the umbrella dashboard and also the secure access dashboard. So step two is a very important step. You need to pass step two to be able to extend the umbrella license expiration, right? After you complete the step two, I mean, depending on how big or how many policies do you have in umbrella, it can take. I mean, it's in minute, right? Probably hour, depends, right? But I have seen it in minute. We can go to secure access and we can see the policy already there, right? Now, step three is the step where we start to moving the traffic from umbrella to secure access. And this is one thing that I really like about the migration tool, how easy it is to migrate the devices, the network, the mobile devices, the Chromebook, the roaming computer to secure access, right? So as you can see in the picture, when you start, you will get this screen, right? Where you have the umbrella on the left and secure access on the right. And you just need to select the type of device. It is network device, roaming computer, the type of device. Then you select the device that you want to move, and you click the move button that is in the middle between the umbrella panel and secure access panel. It is that easy to migrate the traffic from umbrella to secure access, and you can see, the percentage, how many devices have you moved from umbrella to secure access. You can see also, for example, how many devices or network or roaming computer are in secure access and how many devices are in umbrella. But let's say, for example, that you move a device and that device is not working properly or is complaining a lot and you don't have time to troubleshoot. You can easily move back that device to umbrella. Okay, that's also a possibility, right? Now, when you complete the movement of the traffic, I mean, this is 100%, and you test that everything is working fine on secure access, then you can move to step four, right? Step four is to complete the migration. In this stage, you are going to close umbrella, and now you are going to enjoy completely secure access and the new feature, right? So that's all for me for today. Thank you very much. Now, Azucena, we are going to talk to you about the licensing and some other important information.
Thank you so much, Erlangel. Good morning, everyone. I'm Azucena. Happy to be here with you today. I'm going to speak about important things to know about the migration. Started with the licensing topic. So which umbrella licenses apply for the migration tool? We have single organizations that are the standalone accounts, and we have multi-org organizations. Okay, let's start with the single organizations. Mostly all active umbrella packages apply for the migration tool, including the legacy ones, Insights, Platform, Professional. The ones that don't apply are Premium and DNS Monitoring, but these ones can be converted. So don't worry if you have one of these ones and you would like to migrate, okay? The Insights and the Platform, the legacy packages, map to the DNS Advantage, and this one would be in secure access, the DNS Defense Advantage. And the Professional would map to DNS Essentials, and this one would be in secure access, the DNS Essentials. Something to take into consideration. If you upgrade from a higher tier, for instance, Umbrella Insights, that would be DNS Advantage, okay? You can see here the DNS Advantage that, for instance, for this specific case, they have included the intelligent proxy feature. You, if you go from an advantage tier to an essential tier in secure access, you lose this functionality. This is something to take into consideration. And if you do this, please make sure to deactivate that feature in Umbrella before migrating to secure access using the migration tool, because it could cause issues. Okay. From the multi-org accounts, the ones that are managed by partner and they have child organizations managed by end customers, these ones can be migrated to, but they would need to open a tag case to decouple that child organization from the partner, the parent organization managed by the partner. The multi-org organizations managed by end customers, these ones are under development. Okay, the tool will be available in the near future. Okay, it is right now under development. So right now it's recommended to wait until the release of the tool that supports the migration for multi-org organizations. The migration workflow. So here we can see in this scheme 3 planes, okay? The admin plane, the umbrella plane, and the security cloud control plane. So before we start, we need to make sure that the administrator that is going to perform the migration has the same email in Umbrella and the same email in the Security Cloud Control portal. Before starting the migration, this admin might not have a Security Cloud Control. So if that is the case, don't worry. Okay, so let's start with the first step, that would be to review the prerequisites. Then the when you purchase the secure access license, you will receive a welcome email with a code. So hold your horses here, don't do anything yet, because if not, you can create a brand new secure access organization, and we don't want that. So if you are migrating from Umbrella to secure access, the first thing to do would be, once you review the prerequisites, the limitations, and so on, you go to the Umbrella dashboard and you click on request invitation. And this can only be done once, so please make sure that you are the administrator that will do the whole process. So once you request you click on the button to request the invitation in the Umbrella dashboard, you go to your email that you receive from the Security Cloud Control with the steps to either sign in or to create a Security Cloud Control. So if you already have one, you don't need to create a new one, of course. So be careful. If you have one, just sign into yours and complete the steps. Then you claim the subscription following the steps in the dashboard. You will see an invitation to attach existing products. This is very important, this step, because it's the connection with Umbrella. So if the instance ID that you see in the Security Cloud Control from the invitation that you see in the dashboard is the same as your Umbrella organization ID, then all is good and you can proceed. But if you don't see this, if it's not the same number, then you need to resolve this ID mismatch. This can be caused by several things. So depending on the case, you may need to open a case with TAC. Okay, so but let's imagine that you are doing the procedure correctly, and the next step would be to attach the existing instance, because you will see that you can create a new one, and you don't want that. You want to attach it to the Umbrella one. So you click on existing instance, and then you apply the license. But applying the license here doesn't mean that you are going to this step doesn't mean that you are going to have the Umbrella license extended. Okay, so this is very important. You need to pay attention to your Umbrella license expiration date. You can see that in the Umbrella dashboard and the licenses, and that needs to be active for the whole duration of the migration, at least until completing the step 2 of the migration process. Okay, if you haven't checked that, please check the first thing, because it might expire and you won't be able to access to the Umbrella dashboard. So please make sure you have your Umbrella license, the expiration date is long enough to complete this procedure. Then you refresh the page, the Umbrella dashboard, and you will be able to see the upgrade manager. So once you see that, you can start with the migration tool. The steps are the ones Orlando just explained, and so the first one would be the prerequisite, the second one would be the migration of the policies, and once you complete the step 2 of the migration, the Umbrella license will get automatically extended to the duration of your secure access license. So after this, you can take as much time as you need to do the testing in the step 3, that is the migration for the traffic, that you can do one by one. And then once you are ready to complete the migration, the step 4 will close the Umbrella forever. And this would be the end. So This would be for the workflow. Now let's talk about prerequisites. The critical ones. Do not create security cloud control if you have already one. Do not activate the secure access license before starting with the migration process. Umbrella and secure access licenses must remain active before and during the migration. And the instance ID in Security Cloud Control must match the umbrella organization ID, as I was mentioning earlier. Administrator requirements. Here we can see the umbrella dashboard with the request invitation button. So the invitation request can only be used once, must be executed only by the migration owner, and the same admin email must exist in Umbrella and the Security Cloud Control. Exactly the same email with the same domain. And in the case that you have the Security Cloud Control or instance already created. How to prepare before the migration? So in the security, in the secure access, in the umbrella dashboard, do some cleanup of your policies because this one will be migrated to secure access. The policies in umbrella, for instance, the DNS policies in umbrella will be translated into 3 policies in secure access. So the more policies you have in umbrella, the more you will have later in secure access. So we recommend you to have only what you need. So this one will be the ones in secure access times 3. Then resolve warnings and errors. When you are with the migration, so during the migration process, we recommend to don't do any changes because this may break the migration flow. So you may do a change in umbrella and this won't be migrated or could break something. So during the migration, if you need to do any change, it's better to do before or after, once you have the secure access dashboard. Update the virtual appliances, the connectors for Active Directory, the mobile clients, Chromebooks, and the umbrella module or roaming module in the Cisco Secure Client. Now, these considerations are only for migrations from umbrella SIG. Okay, this doesn't apply to umbrella DNS. The policy order after the migration. So you know that in umbrella you have DNS policy separated from web policy and also separated from the firewall policy. In secure access, all of them are unified. So how is the translation logic? First on top of the rack would be the firewall policies, then the web policies, and at the bottom will be the DNS policies. With this said, if you have in your web policy allow Facebook, and then you have in your DNS policy block Facebook, the result in the end in secure access when you are testing the traffic in the step 3 of the migration, you will see, this is why it's very important to test before completing the migration, you will see that Facebook is allowed. Then knowing this, based on this, plan your policies ahead. So if you would like to block Facebook, you know that you need to block Facebook also in the web policy. All right. Then SAML for end users. You need to update your identity provider to include the secure access new metadata XML file. And this needs to be performed during a maintenance window. The Cisco Secure Client Roaming module or the umbrella module, the changes will apply once the client synchronizes the new configuration. The pack files, at the migration step 3, when this is the traffic redirection, you can copy the new pack URL from the secure access dashboard and you can update the end devices with it. And the network tunnels requires manual configuration, but it will migrate the names of them so you in secure access. So you can click once your secure access dashboard is generated, you can click on each network tunnel groups. It will launch a wizard where you can complete few steps like generating the new passphrase, and then you need to reconfigure manually your network devices with the new secure access information. These, the ones that you see the warning icon, are to perform during a maintenance window. Common challenges and solutions. So, not able to log into Umbrella after purchasing secure access. This is because your Umbrella license has expired. So if it's urgent, that most likely will be, please open a case with TAC urgently because you lost access to your Umbrella dashboard. And copy your account manager in that TAC case because most likely they will need to extend it for longer, okay? Using the codes for license activation before starting the migration. This can happen. Why? Because when you buy the secure access licenses, you will receive right away an email with the codes, and the email tells you to perform some steps, but that email is not for the migration. So in the case of the migration, you need to hold and not do anything with the codes, and you apply the codes once you start with the migration from the Umbrella dashboard, when you click on the button to request the invitation. Okay. Well, if you already done it, then there is a deactivation procedure to roll back. So you can do that as well. That is documented. It's it's easy to do. So don't worry if you already have done this, because it has solution. Request invitation button not showing in Umbrella. This can be for license, if that maybe the license that you have is one that doesn't apply for the tool. So don't worry, just open a tag case with your account manager in copy in case they need to give you a license to perform the migration. And last but not least, after requesting the invitation in Umbrella, cannot find the invitation to attach existing product in Security Cloud Control. This most likely is because you either had another, you created another security control instance, or another administrator is doing this step. So it wasn't the same that click on the button. So that's why it's very important to use the same email that clicked on the button to perform these steps. And also to use the same Security Cloud Control instance. All right, this was all from my side. Thank you so much. I hand it over to Jairo. He is going to explain the limitations.
Thank you very much, Azucena. Nice presentation. Now, let's start with the part about limitations. And for sure, welcome to this webinar. Please ask everything that you need. We will answer any question that you have. Please don't worry, ask anything that you need. Okay, so let me start with the part of limitations, and well, you will see how it looks. 1 second, and okay. So we should start from here. Okay, you are able to see my screen? It's fine?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. So from the part of limitation, let's start talking about the umbrella part. But before that, pre-migration preparation is critical to avoid policy migration issues and loss of configuration. So take that in mind. Now, if we start in checking, in the part of policy migrations for umbrella DNS, tags are not supported during the migration, and at least one supported identity into the policy before you click the step 2 button. What happened? The tags are not supported in secure access, and in umbrella you have that. There are some customers that only have tags in the policies, so at least to permit the migration from umbrella to secure access, when you have that limitation, you need to put a valid identity. What is a valid identity? A roaming computer, a user, a group, at least to permit the migration of that policy to Cisco Secure Access. If the policy is not needed, well, you can let the tags and this policy will not get migrated to Cisco Secure Access. But take that in mind because sometimes customers migrate and there is only tags in umbrella and the policies didn't get migrated to Cisco Secure Access. Now, policies cannot be deleted from the SSE dashboard while the migration portal is active. When you have the dual view, you will see that in the videos, you will have a video where it explains how the dual view looks, right? So you will have access to Umbrella and you have access to Cisco Secure Access, and you will have enforced points, okay? So that means when you get migrated the policies to the other side, in Secure Access in the dual view, you cannot delete any policy. Policies with more than 250 identities do not migrate automatically. So if you have this type of policies with this amount of users or identities inside, try to reconfigure it in a way that is less than 250 per policy, okay? So take that in mind before you migrate. Now, access role and management. So taking in consideration that the way how we are handling right now the authentication for the cloud solution of Cisco, everything will be starting being managed by Security Cloud Control. So there are some specific roles. So if you see right now, we support full administrator, security administrator, and read only in the Security Cloud Control. We don't have the old roles that we have in Umbrella. So take that in mind. Evade doing the migration with MSP admin accounts. What happened? When you have a MSP account that you are using to log into an organization of a customer, maybe it's because the customer added you, but you are part of an MSP organization and you are part of the single sign-on of the MSP, you will have issues because it will tell you that you will have an issue moving the authentication way with the MSP to the one with Security Cloud Control. But it's only because you're using a user that is part of the MSP account. So in that case, you need to use a user of the customer to do the migration, okay? Now, list categories and feature limitations. Legacy categories get auto-upgrade to secure access if you are still using the legacy categories. Do not decrypt list cannot be modified while the migration portal is active in Umbrella. Block page bypass code are not supported in secure access. Legacy API support is not available in secure access. So what happened? If you have legacy APIs, you need to migrate to the new API to be able to support the movement when you're changing from Umbrella to secure access. If you don't change that before the migration, you will have issues with the API calls. Network devices are not fully supported. Today, we are only supporting Meraki DNS to integrate with Cisco Secure Access, but integrations like Firepower Threat Defense or Catalyst SD-WAN are not supported. And in case that you wanted to migrate that from the umbrella portal of a customer, you can do that. The only thing that you need to have in mind is please do not make any change after it get migrated to secure access. If you're doing that after you get migrated to secure access, you will have issues or problems with that network identities. So don't modify the network identities configuration when it get migrated to secure access until we support Firepower Threat Defense and Catalyst SD-WAN integration for DNS. License migration constraint. So, as Orlando and Azucena explained to you before, the license don't get applied when you apply the license in the security cloud control. The license get applied when you pass the step number 2 of the migration tool. Okay, so if you have a license of an umbrella organization that will expire, if you don't go until the point number 2, the license will get expired and then you will lose the access to the portal. Package downgrade. So to mitigate from any package using intelligent proxy to DNS defense essentials, let's say that you wanted to migrate from DNS advantage to DNS essentials, you will need to disable the intelligent proxy. Okay. If you don't do that, you will have issues with the migration, and in the step 2, it will get broken, and you will need to open a attack case. For any downgrade, remove unsupported feature to avoid unexpected changes. If unsure, contact us before proceeding. The thing is, there are some features if you're doing downgrade that you need to remove from the portal of Umbrella before you press the button to continue with the migration after the step 2. So be sure to check that before, okay? In the documentation, you will see more information about that part. Now, let's go with the Umbrella SIG migration tool limitations. So let's start with the part about the tunnels. Maximum of 50 tunnels are supported. If your customer have more than 50 tunnels or you have more than 50 tunnels, you need to at least change from 50 tunnels to if you have more than 50 tunnels, you need to reduce the number in order to make available to migrate. Or you will need to do a manual migration. That means that you need to have another portal of secure access and do the manual migration. Okay? Catalyst SD-WAN tunnels are not supported in the migration tool. It will be supported soon, but is not yet supported. Okay? When you migrate using a SIG migration tool, please do not remove the prefix of SSE of the tunnel when you have it migrated in secure from Umbrella to secure access. You will see in the video how it looks, but please do not remove that prefix because this identifies the tunnel from Umbrella to secure access and vice versa. So now moving to the pack file requirements. Devices using the legacy Umbrella pack file do not appear as identity in the migration tool. So what happened? Remember that when we're doing the migration of the pack files, we are not talking about pack files. We are talking about tunnels. We are talking about registered networks because you enable the part of pack files in the tunnels or in the registered networks or traffic that coming behind the virtual appliance, correct? So the thing is, you will migrate the identity of the registered network as an example. And then when you move that to secure access, the traffic that is being using with the pack file to be authenticated for SWG will be moved to secure access. But you need to take in account one thing. When you press the button to step 2, it will generate the portal of secure access. And then where is come when the pack file must be updated before redirecting the traffic to ensure a successful migration. So you press the step 2 button, you go to secure access, you copy the new pack file, and then you start copy that in your network. This pack file can be used in Umbrella and Cisco Secure Access, but the Umbrella one cannot be used in Secure Access. So if you migrate identity that have the that have the pack file without changes, you will expect issues. Okay, so please change the pack file before you continue. Now, let's go to the next part. That is the migration demos. But for the moment, we will go to talk about some specific areas about the migration. For example, the first part, we will talk about how to apply the license correctly, how to claim the subscription correctly, right? And then after that, we will going to see the process of the migration for Umbrella DNS defense and SIG migration. Okay, so let's go. Now, let's start with the part about the climbing umbrella product and subscription. So you will see here in the portal that we have active networks, that registered network, roaming client, active virtual clients, and tunnels. So you will see that the tunnels are connected at sending traffic to Umbrella. And also we have users and groups in Umbrella, right? Then we have the part about the policies, DNS policies, firewall policies, web policies, data loss prevention policies, right? So then after that, when you go into the licensing part, you will see the bot of request invitation. But before you proceed, you need to be sure about this. So if you have an existing secure cloud control account, you need to be sure that if you wanted to use this organization in your security cloud control, the admin email should be the same. No, not should be the same, must be the same. Okay, so take care about that, because when you register that, you will need to be super sure that you are attaching the correct product in the security cloud control organization that you desire. So must be the same, okay? Check that before you proceed with the migration with the actual created organization of security cloud control, okay? Then after you are sure about that, we can continue with the normal flow when the customer doesn't have the security cloud control registered. So you click request invitation, and when you click request invitation, you will receive an email. And this email is the important one because this is the one that you will utilize to attach the product of Umbrella in Security Cloud Control. Now, no reply security@cisco.com is the email that will send the attached product invitation. Okay. And also, from this email, you will receive the license when you bought the license of secure access. So be sure you have this if you wanted to find the emails in your Outlook inbox. So perfect. Then you click in the sign in to secure close sign on, and you will sign up. Okay. For the first time, well, you will create the user. You will choose the country, password, and then you get federated with Duo. You will see. Welcome to Duo. So you will authenticate and you will register your identity in the Cisco Duo database. Then you will have the multi-factor enabled. Then you will create a new organization, right? So be sure that you choose the correct region of deployment. This is for the future. When you claim other products, this is for the future when you wanted to have the storage of the data of the security cloud control in a specific region. Okay, so take that in mind. Now, after that, we're going to the platform management in the security cloud control, and we're going to subscriptions, and ta-da, you will see the attached product. So this is the first step, the attached product of the umbrella organization. So be sure that the org ID that you are attached here is exactly the same that you have in umbrella. Okay, so you will see that the number is here, 8369841, and then in this part, after you validate the number, you will need to claim the license. So again, the license, you need to go to the email and search for the do not reply email, and you will find an invitation with the license. We'll see like this, and then you can take the claim code to put that claim code in the subscription claim code, okay? And you claim the license of secure access, right? Here important, you don't will create a new instance attached to existing instance. That is the instance that you attached before of Umbrella, okay? Then you claiming, and there we are. Okay, now it will tell you there is an action required for the Cisco Secure Access. Okay, you click action required and you apply the subscription to the umbrella organization that you have registered now in Security Cloud Control. But one thing to mention, the license is not applying here. The license is applied in the step number 2 of the migration tool. Okay, so in this way, you can see the instance ID of your organization, and that's it. So this is the claiming umbrella product and the subscription under the umbrella product that you attach to Security Cloud Control. Okay? Let's go for the other part, umbrella migration tool. Okay? So now this is the step after you claiming the subscription, and you claim the subscription under the organization of umbrella in Security Cloud Control. Then when you go to the part of licensing in the portal of umbrella and you refresh, you will be able that you will have a new menu, run upgrade manager. Okay, so this upgrade manager will help you to start with the flow of the migration. So from the start, it will tell you the prerequisites. The first one is the enable Cisco Security Cloud Sign-On, because the way how you authenticated to Umbrella will change totally with Secure Access, because Security Cloud Control will manage the authentication for every cloud product of Cisco. So that's why you are getting forced to migrate to Security Cloud Control single sign-on. Question, is there a way that I can use my IDP later on? Yes, you can integrate your IDP in the Security Cloud Control to manage the access to Security Cloud Control and all the clouds organizations. Now, let me go back here in this part. After you put next, and you have the part of the save and notify, you will need to read that, because this will disable the users in Umbrella and will send the invitation to all the admin users on Umbrella to create or to log in using Security Cloud Control. Okay, so after that, you will be able to log in, or the other users will be able to log in to the Umbrella or to the Secure Access organization. Now, recommendations for update virtual appliance and ID connector and update Chromebook and mobile devices. Virtual appliance recommended version 3.7.1. And after you migrate, you need to change from the legacy authentication of the virtual appliance and move to the enhanced authentication. This is mandatory in May 30. If you don't do that, and until May 30, if you don't do that, you will lose the virtual appliances, and you will need to redeploy the virtual appliances. So take that in mind. Chromebook operating system version 122 or above. Cisco security for Chromebook clients version 2.1.1 of above. Okay. I see a question before that say, what happened with the Umbrella module? Don't worry, you can migrate with the version that you have Umbrella module, but it's suggested that you do the migration with at least the version 5.1.x. Okay, in that case, to honor all the changes that we have in Secure Access, but you don't will have any problem if you wanted to migrate with an older version. Okay, then after that, you will need to upgrade. So then when you finalize the prerequisites, it starts the part about the start upgrade. And this start upgrade, this is the step where the license get applied. And this is the moment where the policies get migrated from Umbrella to Cisco Secure Access. And when the dual view get born, we'll see. It will take as much 2 minutes. And after that, you will see that you will have a dual view. And what it means about dual view? Well, you have access in Umbrella and you have access in Cisco Secure Access. So if you click in Cisco Secure Access, ta-da, you have your policies migrated. So you will see that we have a pair of 3 policies per policy in Umbrella, okay, for the DNS. So take that in mind. This is how it will look. It should be exactly the same that what you have in Umbrella to Cisco Secure Access, okay? Now, after you have this, you can start playing with the traffic, right? You can start playing with the redirection of traffic, okay? Because everything get moved already to here. So you will see the users here that you have in Umbrella. You will able to see the DNS forwarders that you have here, right? You will see in the activity search the part of the point of enforcement. So this is the power tool that you will use to know if the traffic is being redirected correctly to Cisco Secure Access, okay? So when you click in Cisco Secure Access, at the first time, you will not be able to see anything because in order to have your traffic here, you need to redirect the traffic first. But this is the step 3 of the migration tool, okay? So if you click in Cisco Umbrella, for sure, you will have all the traffic here because it's in Umbrella. But here in redirecting traffic, when you start this point, you can start managing how you wanted to migrate. So I remember I see a question that said, but I can control what I can move. I can control what I can put in secure access or in Umbrella. Yes, you can. And the major question, if I have a problem, what I can do? You can roll back. So you can move the identity that is in secure access again to Cisco Umbrella if you have or you are facing any issue, okay? So after that, this is how we moving objects or moving identities to secure access. So redirect traffic and simple, redirect. And then when you click in Cisco Secure Access, you will be able to see the traffic here. So there is the moment where you start in checking, my traffic is working fine, everything is expected. So after you migrate the 100% of identities that you have in in Umbrella DNS, you will be able to close the portal of Umbrella. For sure, there is a thing. Be sure that everything is working as you expected, okay? And then after that, you can complete the upgrade and close the portal of Umbrella. And how it looks? In this way. You click in the start, then I understand I wish to proceed, and there is no point of come back again to Umbrella. So it will close the Umbrella portal, and you will start having access only in secure access, okay? Now, let's move to the part about the SIG migration tool. There is not too much difference about how it looks, how we need to do the migration, but the only point that will change is the prerequisites and the new identities, because we will have new identities that are the tunnels, and we will have in prerequisites the update SAML configuration. Again, it's exactly the same thing. Nothing changed from Umbrella to Umbrella DNS to SIG. In the case of the prerequisites, only the SAML configuration. If, for example, you have configured the SAML to authenticate the users for the web traffic of packed files or tunnel traffic, okay? So it's exactly the same thing. You will see that is nothing changed in this area. And then the prerequisites about the versions of the virtual appliance and Chromebooks on mobile devices is exactly the same thing as you have in Umbrella DNS migration here in the SIG migration tool. And as I told you, this update SAML configuration. So this update SAML configuration, you need to point the SAML configuration that you have in Umbrella to starting pointing to secure access. After you migrate that, you can still use that point of enforcement for the SAML configuration in the both sides, in Umbrella and Cisco Secure Access. And it's only changed the way how you authenticate the traffic, okay? So after you complete that, you will click next, and we will proceed with the migration of the policies, okay? So here you are in the start point of the migration, where you will see how the policies will get migrated from Umbrella to Cisco Secure Access, okay? So After you start in this point, you will see that it will explain you about the migration, how it looks, how it will show in your side, right? In secure access when you have the dual view. So you click next, and you will see how the policies will get migrated from Umbrella to Cisco Secure Access. Okay. Now, after you start the point of the migration, you will just start to see that the order is different here. Remember, secure access is like a firewall, right? So the policies are evaluated from the top to the bottom. Now, let's see how the policies looks in secure access when we're doing the SIG migration tool. Okay, so a little, okay. Now, when we check in the policies, you will see that in the first position, we will have the firewall policies, right? In second position, we will have the web policies. And in the last position, we will have the DNS policies, okay? So take that in mind because this is how we're migrating to have exactly the same ordering that we have in Umbrella. Again, I know it's a lot of policies here. So after you close the portal of Umbrella and you have the secure access portal, you can start redefining the policies in a better way, right? So because here we have a lot of policies, but when we get integrated, we can do taking in consideration the logic of secure access in a better way. Now, after that, we start in the point of the redirection of traffic. In the point of the redirection of traffic, you need to be sure about the network tunnel group identities because yes, it get migrated to Cisco Secure Access, right? But there is a requirement for the network tunnel groups. You will see that later on. Again, is the same path to migrate the traffic, redirecting traffic, not in chains, is exactly the same thing. But for the tunnel groups, well, you need to redeploy the tunnel, literally. Okay, you will see. So when we go into the part of Connect and we go into the end users and internet security, you will be able to see the pack file. This is the new pack file that you need to migrate from all the computers that you have in your company that are using the Umbrella pack file to start using this pack file. If you don't do that, and when you migrate or redirect the traffic from Umbrella to Secure Access, these users that have pack file will lose the access to Secure Access. Well, will lose the proxy identity and will lose the internet access. So please migrate to the new pack file that work in Umbrella and Secure Access to don't have any issue. Now, you will be able to see that here in the internet security, we have the deployment option, deployment management, traffic steering for the internal domains, and then the backup options. Okay, so here, everything about that area that you have in Umbrella will be here. Now, the certificates. The certificate will be exactly the same that you have in Umbrella, the Umbrella root certificate. Okay, so it will continuously the certificate that you have in Umbrella. Then in network connections, when we go into the network tunnel groups, it will tell you, you need to migrate the network tunnel groups. And then to migrate the network tunnel groups, you need to make changes. Okay, which type of changes I need to do? And as I mentioned before, you see SSC, BR1, SSC, HQ. Please do not remove the prefix of SSC because this is the way to identify what is the identity from Umbrella to secure access, okay? That you will migrate from the tunnels. Then the process of the migration for the tunnel groups will be simple. It's like reconfigure the tunnel, okay? So here we will point the tunnel group name, the region. There is new things here. So with Umbrella, as I remember, we have 250 megabytes of throughput. With secure access, by each tunnel, you have 1 gigabyte, okay? Take that in consideration. Now, before that, why this is by default in NAT option? Because in Umbrella, the traffic to internet have enabled by default the NAT option too, okay? So this is how it get migrated from Umbrella to secure access, okay? So you click update, so you are updating the part of the tunnel configuration. And then in this point is where you need to start reconfiguring the tunnel. So you will start using this and starting configuring your device, an FTD, and Fortinet, Palo Alto, the device that you have connected to secure access, okay? Then, after that, when you configure it properly, when you have the traffic egressing now to Cisco secure access, when you configure again the tunnel, you will be able to see the next thing. Here, you will see that the tunnel now doesn't need any change because you already make the change to configure it, right? And then when you're doing the migration from the tunnel of Umbrella to secure access, this is not automatically. So you need to reconfigure the tunnels. After you reconfigure the tunnels, you will see that the tunnel in Umbrella get down as inactive. And then when you go to Cisco Secure Access, it will be active. Again, here we have a new thing. In Umbrella, we're using a single tunnel. In Secure Access, we have redundancy tunnels. So you need to deploy primary tunnel and secondary tunnel. Because when we're doing maintains in secure access, one of the tunnels get down in these maintain periods, and the other tunnel will take care about the traffic, okay? So it is automatically when you configure that in the firewall, for sure. Now, after that, this is the more complex part of the migration with tunnels. And then when you go to activity search, again, point of performance, Cisco Secure Access. If you have the traffic here, okay, that's fine. You get migrated, right? And now you reach the 100% of the redirected traffic. You click next, and same history as the DNS defense. You will proceed to close, and there is no point to go back after you close the portal of Umbrella. Okay? So then you close the portal of Umbrella, and you will only have access via secure access. And that's it about the demos on how we should migrate. Now, I know there are questions related to the migration tool for multi-tenant. So the news for that is Umbrella Multi-Org Migration Tool will be available in May. Okay? So if you need an urgent migration or something like that, please ping your account manager and tell to account manager to connect with the internal people to see what we can do. Okay? So for now, we will going to go to a little break to take a coffee, to take some snack. So we'll be come back in 10 minutes with Jan Orozco that will present the part about integrations. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jairo. We're gonna do 5 minutes because of the time constraints. So thank you. See you in 5 minutes. Okay. Welcome back. And I hope that you had a chance to, refill your coffee, stretch your legs, hydrate, because now we're gonna switch gears. We're going into integrations. Integrations, they're quite interesting because they add value. They expand the capabilities of Cisco Secure Access and take it to the next step. So let's check some of those out. Starting with Cisco Secure Client, a very important component of secure access. But now I want to talk about client managed. I know this one may not be new, but I guarantee you that it is very useful. When you're deploying your Cisco Secure Client along with all of their modules, their configuration files, you're probably using a configuration manager, something like SCCM, MECM, right? And whenever you need to update it, you need to redeploy. Same way. Well, not anymore. Client management is a functionality embedded into XDR. And well, if you don't have XDR, you also get access to it. It's just a different portal, dedicated portal for client management portal. Now, these will allow us to create deployments. That's how we call them. It's like a profile that contains the configuration for what modules enable, what modules do enable, and with what specific configuration files, what specific software version, and so on, right? Now, the cool thing about this is that by creating different deployment profiles, you can control what software version gets deployed and to whom. Okay, for example, a different software version of your secure client can go to production, a different version for the IT team, also different modules, or a different, completely different version for your beta testers, right? So each would generate a different installer that you can later roll out with your configuration manager. So that's something very cool. I will show you now in a demo. Just also keep in mind, it also allows us to have a capability for inventory, okay? OSs, host names, information about the devices, thanks to you know, this functionality, and you will see it in this portal. Let me show you how that looks like. Okay. Now, this is XDR, right? Once again, keep in mind, if you don't have access to XDR, you will also get access to this portal. It just will not have the XDR cool stuff. Now, by navigating on XDR to client management and deployment, you will be taken here. Okay. Now over here, you will have the deployments that I'm telling you about, right? Now, as you can see, there are some default ones that they come based on, you know, Windows, the architecture, Mac OS, and so on. But the custom deployments, you can add different ones, as you mentioned, one for IT team, one for production. And here you choose the operating system, the architecture, right? So this is important. We need to generate an installer. And then just follow the wizard, give it a name to the deployment to this profile. And then, for example, over here, as you click next, you will be prompted to choose what you want to enable. In this case, we're talking about cloud management. This is a module that is in charge for the cloud-driven profile and software updates. This is what enables us to remotely tell an endpoint, hey, we need you to update to this other version, okay? So over here, you will just come here. This one must be enabled. And some of the cool things that we're adding is that these labels that you see over here, right? So you can choose the version, but you can also choose a label like recommended, latest, and they will be bound to a dynamic version, something that the next recommended version will be updated and your endpoints will know about it. Moving forward, you can see, for example, choosing secure endpoint, choosing specific version if you want to have a bit more control over it. Endpoint data loss prevention. This is primordial for if this is something that you would like to use on secure access. This is the way that you will come and deploy this component as well. For example, clicking on next, then you have secure client. We have to, for example, enable here and say that we want to, secure client. What's the version that we want? What's the VPN profiles that we want? And whatever other module you would like to install. You just need to click on it. Diagnostic, umbrella, posture, etc. Right? It will ask you to choose the profile, etc. Now, this one, let me tell you, pretty cool, very useful. You can massively deploy the secure access root certificate, right? Now, this thing that we need for, it's going to be needed for the decryption in order for us to apply the policies. This is how you can massively deploy that certificate to all of your endpoints, zero trust access, and so on. I'm gonna click next, Thousand Eyes as well, which is one of the integrations that we want to talk about today. And after that, you get access to two installers. It can be either a full installer or it can be a network installer. Full installer, there's a bigger file with all of the modules, and network installer just deploys the base, just the secure client. And once it's installed, it will connect to the cloud, identify what are the modules that were enabled for this deployment, and download them. So depends on whether you want to save some bandwidth when deploying this. So there you go. That's one of the things that we have, and that you can, one of the integrations, right? Very cool. Now, the next one up, it's Cisco Identity Intelligence. Now, before we see how it integrates with Cisco Secure Access, let's understand a little bit of what it is. What is Cisco Identity Intelligence? Now, we have seen, customers may have many data sources that make up their identity infrastructure. It could be, different tools. Maybe it was an acquisition, or you guys were acquired by another company, and then you have different identity providers, but you're lacking a unified view for all of your users, contractors, service accounts, and everything that they do, right? Because they're in different IDPs. There is not a unified view. This creates a challenge for those, in the identity security posture management and identity threat detection and response space. What challenges may we face? Perhaps the same user is created in two different IDPs. One is logging in one geographical location. The second one is the same user, different IDP, but is located, logging in a different location, right? Unrealistic travel, that's how we call that. And then, because they're independent, they do not have visibility into this odd behavior. But by unifying that and sending all of that information into Cisco Identity Intelligence, now we can do something about it. Okay, so CII, it's an agentless solution. You don't have to deploy any agent for this. You just configure it and integrate it so that it can communicate with your IDP. And with all of that information, we can power Duo, XDR, and Secure Access. Some of the use cases that we have for it are like creating a user inventory, monitoring all of those non-employee accounts, MFA adoption, right? Confirm which of those users have properly deployed MFA, which ones are using the right method, that kind of thing. It has, capabilities for user or session investigation and continuous threat detection, thanks to some checks that we perform. For example, part of CII is introducing this concept of a trust score. As you can see here, this is a screenshot from Identity Intelligence, and we're looking at a profile, at a user. And we can see that it received this untrusted score. Now, why did it receive it? Based on a few checks that we performed, like, hey, this is a resurrected account, right? We see that it has received like a flood of MFA requests, like those kind of behaviors. So we are looking at them holistically, and that way we can determine a score, right? Like this looks suspicious. And then it's assigned to the users, to the identity itself. Now, let me show you how it all integrates with Secure Access in this little demo over here. So for example, we are starting in Secure Access, okay? We're going to navigate to users. And over here, we see, well, in our lab environment, we have 3 users. Something that I want you to direct your attention to is this new column, right, that we have over here. So there is a column for trust level, and we can see that all of them are trusted. And on the right side, we can see once we click on a user, we clicked on Kit Clark, we can get more information about it, right? So it's trust level, when was it the last time that it was changed? The last time that it was changed, and if it's failing any of those checks that we are performing, right? Now, what are those trust levels? So Cisco Identity Intelligence weighs several factors. Remember that we are feeding from our different IDPs, our different identity sources, all of that information, events, identities, and so on, to Cisco Identity Intelligence. Then it will factor all of that together using a proprietary algorithm to produce a trust level score, right? It goes from trusted to untrusted. And by the descriptions, you can see that it looks pretty fine, it looks good, versus something like untrusted Like, hey, it's displaying behaviors that are exceptionally bad, malicious, or undesirable. So there you go. That's what they are. That's how we're getting that information. And then let's see. Let's check the access policy, how to configure this. So by navigating to the rule defaults and global settings under your access policies, you will now see this option. This option right here, which is called Zero Trust Access, User-Based Access. And it's just a toggle button, User Trust Profile. So by enabling that, you are instructing secure access to use this profile. Now, what the profile says, it's like the configuration of what to do depending on those trust levels. For instance, we have trusted. It's going to be allowed. We have favorable. We are going to ask this user to re-authenticate every 7 days, and so on, right? Neutral, questionable every 24 hours. Untrusted, right out, we're going to block it, okay? So there you go. So there is a profile, trust levels, actions based on those trust levels, okay? So we are adding a different layer of security here with identity intelligence. Now, how does it look like? By going to the activity search, clicking on this user, we can see event details. We can see that the action was allowed, like this client-based connection for this user was allowed, okay? Now, let's see what happens with when the same user, as you can see now, is untrusted. Okay. We're going to do activity search once again. And once you click on the event, you're going to have the reason. So the action was blocked. And the block reason, as you can see here, is that the trust profile resulted in untrusted. That's why we're blocking it based on that profile that we created before. Okay, so if we find this a scenario, let's see what else we can do. It could be an option, right? We can click on the user, get more information. Like, why did it get this untrusted level, right? And you will get more information about it. Risk from IDP reported account, sensitive app, and denied country. So there are like different things, different rules taken into account here. And for example, additional context, shared authenticator, and an MFA device recently registered, right? So you can see undesired behaviors. Over here, we have the checks, all of those rules that we are performing to compile and factor in so that we can get all of this score and so on. Now, it could very well be that this is, I don't know, a legitimate user that is traveling, lost their phone, contacted IT, please give me my bypass codes and register this new MFA device. It is a legitimate use case, right? Sounds like bad luck, but a lot of things here. Now, in those cases, we have a bypass untrusted level. So you have the option to temporarily grant access to whatever private application this user is trying to get, even if they have this untrusted level. Okay, and you can select the duration, maximum 7 days. You understand that you wish to proceed. So let's check that out. Okay, now this is an example logging in. I don't know if you maybe was too fast, but it is asking the user to re-authenticate. Okay, it's trying to access a private application, re-authenticates, login, MFA. This is my device, and now we get access. Now let's check how it looks like in the activity search. So we can click on the latest event, and we can see that it was allowed, right? But if we check the event right before that one, we can see that it was allowed only after it was blocked and asked to re-authenticate, right? Once again, remember that this is this untrusted level for which we created a bypass, a temporary bypass of this untrusted level. We can come back here, and if you go to the trust level, you will see that there is like a countdown, for how long more this bypass is in place. And you can also cancel it on the spot. So there you go. Cisco Identity Intelligence, new, I'm adding another layer of security, having in mind all of that identity information that we get from your different IDPs or sources. All right, now next integration, experience insights. These are powered by Thousand Eyes. Okay, now this next integration, I know it looks like a bit crowded, this slide, just stay with me. This next integration addresses a challenge that every IT team faces eventually, and that is visibility into the user experience. Okay. Now, yes, we are using secure access. We are protecting our users, but now we also have the ability to know whether the connection is any good. If a user reports, hey, I'm unable to access an application, it could very well be because there is a security and access policy, a security rule that it's blocking the connection, or it could also be just a network problem, right? Now with Experience Insights, which is powered by Thousand Eyes, we can answer those questions, okay? What will it give you? You can get actionable insights into the endpoint, its network, its application performance, also end-to-end visibility. Now, this is pretty cool because you can see from one end, the endpoint, to the other end, the application, private application, or whatever it is that it's trying to reach, and everything in between, how is the network performance. It will speed up issue resolution because now we have more data that it's being dynamically and actively being collected and being measured when it comes to the network. What data would that be? For example, we can get information about endpoint performance, like CPU, memory, or Wi-Fi signal, network performance, important network metrics, latency, jitter, packet loss, so on. There are a few more things, right? Like top 20 SaaS applications, we're monitoring those for you from different regions so that you can get more information about it. And this table over here is just to tell you a little bit about the licensing. You, by having secure access, you already get access to Thousand Eyes, to these embedded licenses, okay? And these are, data retention just for a day, the concurrency of tasks that you can run with the embedded licenses. But if you find that, this is something that you may be interested in, that maybe your help desk team, right, receiving all of those level 1 initial tickets, hey, I'm unable to access this application, maybe this can help them to expedite their troubleshooting. And you can perhaps expand the licensing if that's something you would be interested in. Let me show you how it looks like. So here you have the Experience Insights dashboard on Secure Access. You will find it over here. You can see the button for Experience Insights. The integration, you have to complete integration first, is very simple. It's just a wizard. Click on Integrate, log in with your Thousand Eyes credentials, and then click on Next, follow the wizard, and it will ask you, do you want to monitor a specific target, like your VPN heading, right? Like that kind of thing. Do you want to monitor your collaboration application, like WebEx, Microsoft Teams, Zoom, etc.? And then you will get the dashboard. Now, this is the dashboard, and let's quickly go through it. First, we start up with the SaaS application widget. So it's top 20 SaaS applications most used, as you can see, AWS, Azure, and we can get the different regions that we are monitoring that from. So if you don't know much about Thousand Eyes, let me tell you quickly about it. Essentially, Thousand Eyes has something called cloud agents, and they are deployed all over the world, and we use them to test, to send synthetic network data to check the performance of applications. right? So we're doing that and giving you that information to you available here. That would answer some questions like, is there a problem in a specific region or something like that that your users are reporting? Yes, I can confirm that it's there. Okay. All right. Let's see. Next widget is for the endpoint summary. So this is a lab environment, so we only have two endpoints, but this is where you will get them. And you also see the health status. And what I like most about this is this map visualization here, because it allows you to choose the health status per region. So you can filter them by, say, unhealthy, and then that will tell you geographically where those endpoints are located. And that will answer questions like, hey, is this problem, global? Is it just on a specific region, just a specific country? Those kind of things. And keep in mind that these healthy, at risk, unhealthy statuses are regarding the network. We will see that in a minute. Okay, next one is the endpoint list. And here you can search for your devices. You can search for a specific location, but it will be the full list of all of the endpoints that you have deployed, the thousandized module on, okay? And you will get information about the devices, health status. For example, right now you can see the definition of healthy, and they're using different network metrics: jitter under 30 milliseconds, packet loss under 10%, average latency under 100 milliseconds. And for example, unhealthy, latency over 150 milliseconds, and so on. So we are factoring different network metrics to determine what's the network health status of the endpoint. And then you get more information about it, right? Like in this table, latency, response time, CPU, depending on what's being monitored. Okay? We can click in one of these devices and get more information about it. We can get summary details, who is logged in, device details, what version, what OS, does it have, certificate. Then we have the security part. This is what I was telling you about before, right? So it could potentially be that we're unable to access something because a rule is blocking it. So you can see what rules are associated and affecting a specific device. And then on the right, you have the blocked events and allowed events widgets. And they will tell us if they're being blocked, right? So it's not network related, but rather security related. You can click on view all, and that will take you to the activity search, so you can dive deeper into what's going on. Then we have the security event details. These are more about posture, like is it joined to a specific domain? Is it running any firewall, disk encryption? What's the EDR solution that it has? And lastly, performance. Now, this is based on specific test or target that we are monitoring, right? You can choose the time range, date and time from which you want to observe the performance, because this is actively being monitored, right? So you will have historical data to understand a baseline, to know when something is wrong. Here, we want to see something like a flat line, ideally on 100%, right? Or as close as possible, but we can see the drops, right? So indicating there was a problem. So it's color coded, green for good, red for bad, and we can see the performance, right? And once we're clicking along the side of on this timeline, this lower widget called segment visualization updates to reflect what was going on at that point in time. Now, this one is organized in segments to answer the question, where is the problem? If we know that there is if there is a problem accessing an application, getting to a target, it is slow, it is simply unresponsive. We want to know if that problem is located on the agent side, like the computer, local network, maybe it's the connection, maybe it's the default gateway, the VPN headend, internet itself, maybe it's the ISP, or the target application. Okay, and then once you click on each of those segments, you get metrics, right? Like this one over here, agent score, CPU, memory. You get, oh, maybe, you know, the CPU and memory were running high, affecting everything else. Connection, this is Wi-Fi signal. Maybe it's too weak. For the gateway. Now, gateway and VPN are automatically detected and then automatically monitored. We identify the Thousand Eyes module will identify what is the local gateway, what is the VPN heading, and it will start sending network probes to measure something like packet loss to the VPN heading, what's the latency to the VPN heading, and things like that. Also to the local gateway. So as you can see, they will help you to isolate the issue. VPN, there are a few of those that are supported. Cisco AnyConnect is one of those, but there are a few other vendors also supported. And for the target, in this particular case, we are monitoring the VPN head end of, you know, remote access VPN for secure access. So we're monitoring that. There you go. So as you can see, cool stuff about troubleshooting, giving you more visibility. The next tab will give you access to these top 20 SaaS applications. As you can see, which those applications are, the different metrics that we are collecting for them. And if you click on any of them and you choose the time, for example, you will get historical data. And here we can see that we're close to zero, but then on this particular point in time, there was a peak, right? Now it could be a problem. It was not sustained over time. So maybe it was not a major problem. On Endpoint Test tab, you will have the licensing usage. Remember, you have some embedded license that come with your secure access, but you can also expand these by purchasing additional accesses to create more tests. Now, what are those tests? You can think of tests as targets. When we create a test in the context of Thousand Eyes, what we do is to define the application that we want to monitor. Okay, so there you go. These are the applications. The default endpoint test that we're monitoring, as you mentioned, VPN heading and WebEx collaboration app. And lastly, AI Insights. So it's 3 widgets, one for devices, one for region, one for the low performing SaaS applications. And you will have an AI assistant with some predefined prompts that will allow you to investigate, collect more data about what's going on those specific categories. So there you go. Now, oh, but there is more, right? Many of our customers don't know that by getting secure access, they will get these embedded licenses to Thousand Eyes, which will allow them to access the Thousand Eyes platform, which means that they will get access to the flexible dashboards and alerts of Thousand Eyes. So there is a quick demo on Thousand Eyes. So let me introduce to you. This is Thousand Eyes platform. And what I want to show you here is that we can create dashboards. Okay. Now the dashboards will be comprised of widgets. A widget is this that you see over here, right? This that you see over here. And essentially you can graph any metric being collected by Thousand Eyes. Memory, CPU usage, latency, packet loss, Wi-Fi. You can graph any of that over time, okay? We can use different types of widgets so that you can display your data depending on what's more relevant. And there are different things. Let me show you a little bit. For example, if we analyze this one over here, this widget, we are looking at the gateway latency. So that's local gateway, right? And what we want to see, we're talking about local gateway, your default gateway for your computer. So what we want to see is on this axis, x-axis, we have time. Over here, we have latency, right? So what we can see here is we want to see under 1 millisecond. We're talking about default gateway. And we can see like a strong concentration of that over here, but there are a few of those scenarios in which we went very high. Thankfully, this was not sustained over time. So maybe it was just that the user was moving from one place to the other. But this is it, right? You can get some idea. Some of these widgets will answer some of the questions. Where the problem is, was it sustained over time, etc. Okay. There are different types of widgets and different measurements, like for example, using the 90th percentile. This one is very useful when it comes to identifying those outliers. You may be measuring, for example, the latency of a network, and it looks pretty good, but maybe because there are like many of them performing really good, but just a few of them performing really bad, and it's skewing the metric. So by using the 90th percentile, you can just concentrate on those top 10% of devices or hosts that are underperforming, right? So you can, for example, let me change, in this case, I'm going to check the view instead of like all of them together. I can split them per device. These are the devices, each of them getting a different color. And then it's clear that the green one, which is Manthile, has a better performance than, for example, the orange one, Asmodan, right? So there you go. A lot of troubleshooting. You will get different widgets like these ones where you can graph over a period of time. Hey, this is the number, color coded, green for good, red for bad, notify me, and so on. So from here on is all about the creativity, is about what you need, creating a dashboard that suits your needs and tells a story. Okay, so I'm going to skip ahead, just a couple more, stay with me. Cisco Eyes, for Cisco Eye, what we're doing is that we are, remember all of these SGTs that you have been using for a long time with your identity service engine, right? We can, after we integrate ICE with secure access, you can use those SGT identities and create policies for that, right? So we will have this rich context of what the user, who the user is, what the device that they're on, what's the posture, the role, all of that thanks to the SGT, and you can create policies based on it. For Catalyst SD1, we have the ability now to create automated tunnels. So essentially, Catalyst SD1 Manager is going to leverage the API of Cisco Secure Access. It's going to retrieve information, okay, like pre-shared key, IP address of the primary data center, IP address of the secondary data center. And then using a post request of the API, will create that tunnel after just filling out a few of those details on the SD1 side. We have internet access support for tunnels for internet access support, introducing these versions over here, 20.15.1 for SD1 Manager, and for the iOS XE, 17.15.1. And later, we introduce the same for private access. This is how it would look like in the SD1 Manager. So by navigating to the Secure Internet Gateway, SSC, you have the option to add Secure Internet Access, tunnel, or add a private application access tunnel, right? And those are just the flows that are going to follow. Okay. For Cisco Meraki, for example, we have pretty much the same thing. Also, automated tunnels. This is just how you would create it. And the concept is the same. Concept is the same. Let me quickly show you a demo. So it's going to use the APIs. So the first thing that we do is to add those API to generate the API key on on secure access. So we navigate to admin, API keys, add a new one, choose admin for the key scope, and then integrations. And from here, we choose MSA, which is acronym for Meraki Secure Access. Then on the scope on the right, as you can see, we get the read and write permissions. That's very important because we need them both. Okay. We click create, we copy API key and key secret. We already revoked those, so we are safe. Thanks for your concern. Then on Meraki dashboard, we can navigate to organization, integrations, and search for the secure access tile. And essentially here, click connect, and we add those values, those API keys. So as you can see, we just generate it and then give them to Meraki, right? Add the integration. And by doing that, a new menu is going to show up over here. I'm sorry, over here, SPACY, okay? Now, that new menu will allow us to create the automated tunnels. We click on it, click on the sites. This is where we configure the sites for your Meraki sites, that's what I mean, to create the tunnels. We click on them, we can search. If you have multiple, you want to search for the ones that you want to create tunnels for example, San Fran, Chicago, New York, etc. We can search for them, choose whatever device, whatever network device you want to create a tunnel with, assign a region closest to it, right, for secure access. And after we select the region, bind that to the Meraki devices, then we click on next, save and finish, and that's it. That's pretty much it. In the back end, it's going to do the API calls, create the tunnels, etc. This is how it would look like. You will have the ability to see that they're already connected. It will take 1 to 5 minutes for this orchestration to work completely, and you will see the tunnel. Now, if you navigate to secure access, you can see under the network tunnel groups, the tunnels, right? That they are up and running, they're connected. You can see primary hub, secondary hub, right? It was all done automatically. And lastly, if you go to the access policy, you can see that now when you're creating a policy under from, you can now choose these Meraki devices, these network tunnel groups as a source. So they're an identity as well. So there you go. That's what you would do. And with that, we conclude the demo. Oof. All right. That's it. If there are any remaining questions, we will take a minute to answer them. I know we went a couple more minutes over the time, but we appreciate you being with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Jan. There is a little question about the amount of users that we can support in the migration tool. That is a maximum of 250 users. And some of the customers telling us that they have 2,000 umbrella users in the policy, but if that identity is a group, it is content as one, right? So one group, one identity. So it's not like one group, 2,000 users. That means 2,000 identities. So in the case that is like that, is in that way, you don't will have any problem. But for example, if you have 2,000 identities, different identities, roaming devices or things like that, or different users, it will count as one. Okay, so in that case, you will need to reduce the policy to 250 in the moment before you migrate, and then migrate, or you need to duplicate the policy and allocate the users in the duplicated policies before the migration. Or the third option that you have is reduce the policy in a maintain window to one, then migrate, and then in secure access, put the identities, and in Umbrella put the identities again. So you will match all of them. Okay, so that's other thing that you can do. Hope it resolved the question. And if you have any other question, please go ahead and make the question that you need.
Team, any more questions on the chat? I see a question from Martin Clark. Slides are will not be available, but the recording will be. That's on the link that we shared earlier today. Let me put it once again here. I'm pasting a link in the chat. That's where the recording of today's session will be posted after a couple of days. All right, you're welcome. Okay. If there are no further questions, we thank you, everybody, and we wish you a great day. Thank you for joining us.